chattery windshield. Morning. Yes, it's very snowy. Very slick. Rick is having to leave Walmart's property. Ooh. Snow's coming off the truck. Oops. Better keep those going. This road is very slick. I don't have too much further left to go. 6.5 miles to get to my destination. Wasn't like this yesterday. There was no snow to be seen for miles yesterday. Now, an absolute snowstorm hit last night while I was sleeping. Taking it nice and slow to the destination. Oops. Oh, that was my keyboard falling. Yes, I've got a desktop in this truck. Desktop computer. And he's sliding. I think I'm trying to take it easy. This road is very slick. Oh my hell, really? Come on, people. Well, nothing helps you stop. Well, you have a slight increased chance if you're using chains. Slight increased. Because the chains will grind against the concrete. And snow socks don't help either. They think they do, but they don't. 5.8 mile. Yes, I go very slow. I take my time getting there. Messed up thing is, once I'm empty, I can slide a lot easier. And I don't dare squirt that washer fluid. That's summer washer fluid. That'll ice up the windshield quick. Especially with a little Dawn dish soap in it. Yeah, that'll freeze it up instantly. Now I got a roundabout to hit. People ain't gonna like it, but watch this. Tough shit. See, the trailers tend to cheat. So I ain't taking no damn chances. And another freaking roundabout. Wonderful. How many more roundabouts? So far, this one and the next one. Turn that off for now. Got one more roundabout to hit. And it's 20 degrees out, and last night I'm pretty sure it got way cold. Sure, just leave the chapter. Fine. Last roundabout. People ain't gonna like it, but tough shit. Like I said, trailer tends to cheat. crossing. Won't apply to me by the time I get to it. I only see one person crossing. Okay, let's slow down. Did somebody call the ambulance? That Jeep was sliding. No engine brake. Nope. Not going to use it. I know, it's annoying. Well, you know, return. Come on, salt truck, spray that salt. Maybe it's not a salt truck because it doesn't have a sprayer in back. Wide. Why? Because I can and I need to. If I didn't cut wide, I would have hit something. Yep, I just slid. And it's sliding again. Yep. Traction control's going nuts. turn in a snow-covered area. Okay, he's turning right. I'm turning left. More lights. Wonderful. There's one light. Lights. Then I turn right, and then I turn left. Oh, red light. According to this, I can go right. So I go right. It's got to be a kindergarten or something right there. Oh, good hell. I thought that was an entrance. It's not. Mother. Damn it. I'm going to turn this big bitch around. Objects in the camera are closer than they appear. Oh, good fucking hell. How long is the line to get offloaded?
Oh, so you keep parking for a while because there are three more trucks on the line to offload. I'm the dead one. Got my truck right there.
Yeah, so I thought all these trucks are waiting to get offloaded.
Huh?
I thought all these trucks are waiting to get offloaded.
Yeah, there are 2 trucks. No, just 2 trucks. 3 trucks on the line. The other truck come to get loaded.
Yeah.
Come to pick up load. The other truck. The other Only said already.
Yeah. And I've got.
You can stop here and you can go check in inside, and after you.
Yeah, look behind. You see those signs that say no parking this side?
Yeah, I know about it. Yeah, I see.
You know what I say about that?
Fuck them.
Basically, I'm offloading here. Fuck them. They don't like it. Suck a dick. Right?
So you can stop you. You can stop you for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I'm offloading here, so what are they going to do? Bitch and complain? Thank you. Where do you check in at?
Huh?
You just check in over here?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I don't know which one I bet will be pushed in front of the line because of what I got from that there several days ago because of the situation. Over here's my damn sweater. Our aluminum coils. Yep. Please. Ugh. Now I'm stuck waiting in line. Hey, Stephanie. How's life treating you so far? Six more days, Stephanie. 6 more days. Now I'm just sitting here stuck waiting in line, I guess. Waiting to get offloaded. Boring. Ugh.
call is being recorded. Your call has been forwarded.
Uh-huh.
This call is being recorded.
Morning, fireman.
Yeah, here, but I'm stuck waiting in line.
Okay. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, we also got to get this in. We also got to get this engine timeout shit turned off because it was like almost 10 degrees last night, and the engine wanted to keep shutting off.
All this fucking stuff.
Yeah, so we got to either reset the parameters or turn off the engine timeout. Because I wanted to stay warm and made it a little difficult. Besides the bunk heater, made it a little difficult to stay warm. So we got to either reset the parameters or basically turn off the engine timeout.
All right. Sounds good, man.
And if possible, maybe turn it up to 70 so I can get my job done slightly faster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll give it up to 75.
Yeah, that'd make it. Oh, heck yeah, that'd go a lot better. I can get more work done.
The insurance company would bend my ass over.
Well, at least the engine timeout, either change the parameters or turn it off, especially during winter, so I don't freeze my butt off.
Yeah.
Unless you want a human popsicle for a driver. Hey, did you see the pictures that I sent last night? Yeah, that TV mount does not leave the truck. I mean, I had to kind of drill into the truck and use nut and bolts to hold it in place, but yeah, because I did that TV mount never leaves the truck again. It's a permanent fixture of the truck. I'll take the TV, but that TV mount just became a permanent fixture of the truck.
Yeah.
Because I know if I didn't do that, at least, I know it would piss Octavian off because I drilled into his truck. So giving him that TV mount makes it better. Right? So yeah, I'm just sitting here stuck waiting, I guess 3 trucks ahead of me, I guess, waiting to get offloaded. I'll let you know when I'm offloaded.
Alright, dude.
Alright, bye. Permanent fixture of the truck. Only because I had to drill into Octavian's truck and I know how he feels about drilling into his truck. Alright, I'm talking to myself. Wonderful. Ooh, wait, I know. Okay, Bluetooth. So I can listen to something and not be bored. Connecting that. Okay, let's go to YouTube. Come on. There we go. Thank you. And now.
Places in the United States. Prepare yourself for spine-chilling tales and eerie encounters as we explore the country's darkest secrets. Think you're brave? Well, today we're diving into the 50 most haunted places in the U.S., one for each state. From spooky mansions to eerie asylums, we're not just ghost hunting, we're exploring the hidden stories these sites don't want you to know. But here's the twist. There's one place on this list where things are so spooky, even the ghosts are scared. Stick around to find out which one it is, if you dare. Sloss Furnaces, Birmingham, Alabama. Sloss Furnaces is a historic blast furnace that operated from 1882 to 1971. It played a significant role in Birmingham's industrial growth and is now one of Alabama's most haunted locations. The haunting legend centers around James Slag Wormwood, a foreman notorious for forcing his workers into dangerous conditions, resulting in many accidents. Slag himself allegedly fell into a molten pool under mysterious circumstances, sparking rumors of revenge from restless spirits. Visitors often report seeing shadowy figures, hearing disembodied voices, and experiencing sudden, hot sensations, as if standing near intense heat. Paranormal investigators claim to have captured eerie EVP recordings of angry workers' voices and unexplained footsteps echoing in the furnace. One of the most chilling stories comes from a night watchman who claimed to be pushed by unseen hands while patrolling the grounds. Others have described hearing whispers of ghostly commands as if Slag himself was still driving his workers to their deaths. Do you feel that chill? It's not just the ghosts you've been hearing about. It's the feeling of missing out on even more haunted tales. Hit that like button now, or risk having a restless spirit pay you a visit tonight. Tap now, before it's too late. Historic Anchorage Hotel, Anchorage, Alaska. Built in 1916, the historic Anchorage Hotel is haunted by a range of spirits. The most famous is that of Police Chief Jack Sturgis, who was shot near the hotel in 1921, with his murder remaining unsolved. Guests often claim to see his apparition wandering the hallways, looking for answers to his mysterious death. The ghostly bride, who reportedly hanged herself after being abandoned by her groom, also adds to the hotel's haunted history. Visitors report hearing sobbing, seeing a woman in a white dress who vanishes suddenly, and encountering wet footprints that mysteriously appear and disappear on the floor. Paranormal investigators have recorded EVPs of a man's voice calling out, believed to be Chief Sturgis, and unexplained cold drafts moving through the hotel. Eyewitnesses also describe a mischievous spirit of a young girl playing on the second floor, moving objects and giggling. The hotel maintains a ghost log, where guests document their paranormal encounters, keeping the haunted legacy alive. The Birdcage Theater, Tombstone, Arizona. The Birdcage Theater, opened in 1881, quickly became one of the Wild West's most notorious establishments, known for gambling, drinking, and violence. Over 26 people reportedly died here in various incidents, and their spirits are said to still haunt the building. The most famous ghost is Margarita, a woman who was fatally stabbed by a jealous lover. Her spirit, often seen in a white dress, wanders the hallways and appears on the balcony, clutching her chest. Guests have reported hearing the faint sound of piano music playing, and the clinking of glasses as if a ghostly party were still underway. Disembodied laughter and shadowy figures moving across the stage add to the eerie atmosphere. One of the most dramatic eyewitness stories involves seeing the phantom of a cowboy sitting in the corner, watching the poker games before vanishing. Paranormal teams have captured ghostly voices and mysterious orbs, further solidifying its haunted reputation. Crescent Hotel, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. The Crescent Hotel, often called America's most haunted hotel, was built in 1886 and has a dark history of tragedy. During the 1930s, it was operated as a cancer hospital by a fraudulent doctor named Norman Baker, who conducted unethical experiments on desperate patients. The most common spirit sightings include Theodora, a former patient, who often appears searching for her room, and a nurse pushing a gurney down the hallways. Guests frequently report hearing disembodied voices, seeing ghostly figures in the lobby, and feeling sudden chills. Room 419 is a particular hotspot, with people reporting hearing Theodora's voice.
Or am I?
The morgue
By
area in the
destination.
basement is said to be the most haunted, with reports of ghostly screams and shadowy figures. One spine-chilling account involves a guest who awoke
Give me
to
a
find a
sec.
ghostly nurse tucking him in. Paranormal investigators have recorded clear EVPs, captured strange mists, and seen moving orbs on camera, all contributing to its haunted legend.
Go to... Nope.
Winchester Mystery House, San Jose, California. The Winchester Mystery House is a sprawling mansion built by Sarah Winchester, the widow of the rifle magnate William Wirt Winchester. Starting in 1886, Sarah built the house continuously for
I'm in
38
Wisconsin.
years, guided
You
by a
left.
belief that she was
How dare you.
warding off the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles. It is famous for its bizarre architecture, including staircases leading to nowhere, doors opening into walls, and windows in the floor. Visitors report hearing footsteps echoing through the halls, disembodied whispers, and seeing ghostly figures, particularly in the seance room, where Sarah supposedly communicated with spirits. Many believe Sarah's spirit still lingers, guiding visitors through the maze-like structure. One eerie account involves a tour guide who witnessed a shadowy figure at the end of a hall, which vanished as she approached. Paranormal investigators have captured eerie EVPs and ghostly apparitions, solidifying the mansion's eerie reputation. The Stanley Hotel, Estes Park, Colorado. Famous as the inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining, the Stanley Hotel is widely believed to be haunted by its original owners, Freeland and Flora Stanley. Freeland is often seen in the lobby, while Flora's ghost is said to play the piano in the ballroom. Room 217, where King stayed and experienced his own paranormal encounter, is known for moving objects, ghostly voices, and shadowy apparitions. Guests report hearing children's laughter in the hallways and feeling cold spots in warm rooms. The fourth floor is particularly active, with sightings of ghostly figures and eerie giggles. One famous encounter involves a housekeeper who heard a child's laughter only to find an empty corridor.
Stephanie.
Paranormal investigators frequently capture disembodied voices
Well,
and shadowy
I'm in,
figures,
Las
reinforcing
Cruces,
its haunted
Wisconsin.
legacy. Dudleytown, Cornwall, Connecticut. Dudleytown is a ghost town with a reputation for being cursed. Founded in the 1740s, it was abandoned in the early 19th century after
I
a
got an
series
idea.
of tragedies. Theories of a curse arose when several Dudley family members experienced
Christmas stories.
Christmas stories.
Ooh. Deep stories, Christmas Eve. No. Go with the first one. Spooky Christmas stories.
I'm a single mother of my 8-year-old boy Mark. When this happened, he was 5 and I was 27. I have my own house that was passed down to me from my grandparents. It's in the quiet side of town with a lot of older people, and I still live here with Mark today. It was Christmas time, and I was out with Mark shopping. I was doing my Christmas shopping for my family. Mark and I went to the mall, including a few clothing stores and a hardware store where I bought a gift for my dad. After all the shopping was done, I took Mark to McDonald's to get him some burgers and ice cream. Afterwards, we left the mall through the south exit, and here we bumped into a mall Santa standing outside. He waved at us and said the usual Santa stuff. He then knelt down to get to Mark's level and asked him what he wanted for Christmas. Mark led my hand closer to the Santa, and I allowed it because he seemed like a normal, nice mall Santa. Mark said he wanted a Nintendo Switch, which ironically was what I was planning on buying him for Christmas. The Santa laughed and said, "If you're good, maybe you'll get it," while looking up at me and winking. I smiled, and then he stood up and started complimenting me, saying to Mark, "Your mother's a looker, Mark, you know that?" And Mark laughed, even though he didn't know what that meant. I still smiled. Then we had a couple minutes worth of seemingly friendly adult conversation about the holiday mayhem and such. The guy said he worked for the mall. I regrettably mentioned the stress of being a single mom during Christmas is unfathomable, and then I made a joke about needing Santa's help. Then the Santa made what I thought was an innocent joke, saying, "Mark, have you ever heard the song, 'I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus'?"
Oh,
Mark
that's
shook his head
fucked
yes.
up.
Then he leaned in towards me with his cheek, implying he wanted me to kiss his cheek. I was going to give him an innocent little peck on the fake beard, but as I leaned in, he turned his head and tried doing that old trick where he kisses you on the lips instead. I moved my face away in time. The way he did it was so creepy and aggressive, too. He looked at me and started doing the Santa kind of laugh, but there was nothing jolly about it. I said, "Come on, Mark," and we started walking away. He yelled "Merry Christmas," and that was the last thing I heard him say. As we drove away past the
Here
back exit of the
it's
mall, I
22
noticed
degrees.
he wasn't there in front of the entrance anymore. I wish I took that into consideration as to what may have happened next. We got home, and after bringing everything inside, I locked the door, and Mark and I started to watch a Christmas movie. Our wholesome time together was then interrupted. My doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone, and it was late for any kind of door-to-door people. I told Mark to keep watching as I went to go answer the door. I said, "Who is it?" through the door, and a man's voice on the other side said, "It's Santa." My heart dropped. I said, "If you're the mall Santa, please go away, or I'm calling the cops." He replied, "You dropped something out of your bag, miss. I'm just looking to return it." I replied, "What did I drop?" He replied, "I don't know, miss. I'm not looking to be nosy, but if you open the door, I can hand it to you." I repeated myself that I wanted him to leave now. I then decided to call the mall management office of the mall to report this, but the man on the phone said they don't officially hire any mall Santas at this mall, and that whoever's dressing as Santa is doing it on their own accord. With that bit of information, I felt incredibly unsafe. I went back to be with Mark, but my mind was elsewhere now. I felt this sickly, worried feeling in my gut. I made an excuse to get up again after a few minutes. I went to the kitchen out of earshot of the TV. I raised the blinds to the kitchen window. I couldn't see anything out there, being that the kitchen light was on and it was pitch black outside. But I heard a man yelling, "Ho, ho, ho." He was probably out there watching me at that very moment, looking out the window. I had no choice but to call the police and...
Hey, I got a joke for you. What did Santa Claus want for Christmas? He wanted a ho, and a hoe.
report that I was followed by a man dressed as Santa. I told Mark to keep watching the movie, and I spoke to the police outside. They took a report and were on their way. The police having come made me feel just a little better. A few nights later, though, my doorbell rang again, around the same time, if not a little later. Mark was already asleep tonight. I was in the living room watching a show. I turned off the TV and went upstairs to my room, which is connected to Mark's room. The doorbell didn't ring again, but I never went back downstairs that night. It wasn't until the next day when I was leaving the house that I found the note taped to my front door. It was typed out and printed. This is a picture of the note, and it said, "I'll just be blunt. I'm sure you can guess who this is. I didn't mean to scare you the other night. I just had a long shift. And when a pretty lady talks to you after pretending to be Santa for 6 hours, hormones kind of go crazy. You and your son are the cutest things ever, and I'd love to one day be a part of your family. You can't pretend you didn't feel the connection when we spoke the other night. I already know where you live. Now I just need your number. Feel free to shoot me a text whenever, and maybe we can plan something one day. Sorry, I know this may seem creepy or a bit much, but I'm the kind of guy where if I see something I like, I go after it. Anyway, happy holidays if we don't speak soon. Here's my number. Best, Ted. I wanted to crumple this up, but I took a picture of it, called the police again, and gave this to them. Since it had his number on it, the police could work with that. They said I'd be hearing from someone when action was taken. And that following Monday, I got a call from, I assume, a detective telling me that the man would not be contacting me anymore, and if he did, to let him know. I never heard from that creep again. I assume the police threatened to arrest him if there was any further contact. This is a short but scarring story nonetheless from my early childhood. I grew up in an average middle-class home in the suburbs. My sister and I were huge fans of Christmas as kids. I had to be like 6 years old when this happened, because we had just moved to our new house. This is one of my earliest memories in life that I remember vividly just because of the gravity of it. On Christmas Eve, I would always have trouble sleeping, even as a young kid, just due to anticipation. I would stay up really late playing video games in my room on my old box TV. I'd play until I just fell asleep from exhaustion. This night in question, I was playing a Star Wars game for the PS1, and when I had to go to the bathroom, I turned the volume down low and quietly snuck out of my room, because I knew my mom would get mad if she heard me sneaking around on Christmas Eve night. I snuck to the upstairs bathroom, and when I was done, I was quietly going back to my room, when I heard the sound of the tree rustling around downstairs. My first instinct was to think, Santa. I started tiptoeing down the stairs until I got to the bottom. The sound of the rustling pine needles was louder now. I peeked around the bottom wall of the stairway into the living room. There were no lights on, except for someone holding a flashlight. I could see only the person's legs as they were bent over behind the tree. There was a black bag on the floor, and this random adult man came out from behind the tree and looked at me. He looked at me and put his pointer finger up to his mouth, and he made a shushing motion with his lips. Whispered, "Yes, I'm Santa." I was old enough and smart enough to know that wasn't what the Santa I grew up knowing looked like. I started screaming for my mom and dad as loud as I could. I remember the man started freaking out, deciding whether or not to take the bag he filled with our gifts, and he ended up running away to the front door. I don't remember if he had to unlock it or if it was already unlocked or not. I just remember him leaving through the front door, and seconds later my parents running down the stairs. I'm sure I screamed there was a man in here, and them seeing the black bag on the floor filled with our would-have-been stolen gifts proved that. Here's where my memories started getting fuzzy, so I had to ask my parents what happened next. But my dad told me he went outside in his slippers and ran all over the place ready to kill someone. Half the ornaments on the tree were taken off and in the bag. What kind of sick, evil person steals people's sentimental Christmas ornaments? According to my dad, the method in which the man broke in was the back door, which it appeared he yanked open with a crowbar due to the chipped wood. A house a few blocks away had also fallen victim to this, and it was on the news. It was most definitely the same guy. I don't remember much from when I was 6, but this is a memory that most of it still sticks in my brain like it was only a few years ago. It was December 2020. My fiance and I bought a house together a few years ago. It's a cute house in a decent neighborhood, a nice area to raise a family. That's why what happened 2 years ago was all the more shocking and disgusting. We know all of our neighbors, both our next door neighbors and the 3 closest neighbors across the street. Everyone is friendly enough, but you truly never know the skeletons hidden in someone's closet. Our neighbor Paul to the right always seemed nice the few times we'd speak, but he never really spoke too much. I'd see him outside almost every day, either coming or leaving for, I'm assuming, work, though I never knew what he did for a living. At this time, I hadn't seen the guy in a few days, and his car hadn't moved from his driveway. Obviously, that in of itself isn't any cause for alarm. All of the neighbors, including Paul, had their lights up already. I found it interesting how Paul, a single man in his 40s, would put lights up. I actually found it kind of nice. I was late to the party putting my Christmas lights and decorations up outside one night. While doing so, I noticed Paul's Christmas lights out of nowhere started flickering like crazy. All of them, not just one strip of lights. It looked like it could have just been faulty wiring or some electrical glitch. The next day, I left for work around 10. I noticed again Paul's car was still in the driveway. I also noticed all the blinds in his house were still closed. Even when I got back from work, the blinds were all closed, but his Christmas lights were on, so he was definitely home. I joked with my fiancée that he must have been on some kind of hibernation. Later that night, my fiancée came inside and told me of Paul's Christmas lights acting up. I went outside and it was the exact same thing that was happening the night before. The flickering wasn't happening in a way that would appear that he programmed it that way. It was happening in a very spastic, glitchy sort of way. So I figured I'd be nice and go let him know, and also see if he's okay since I hadn't seen him. I knocked on the door, and when there was no answer, I rang. All the
Hey,
blinds
Stephanie,
were closed and I couldn't tell if
since
the
you're
lights were
watching-
on or not. Sounded scared, saying
Sorry
she
about
keeps hearing
that.
noises from below the living room.
I must have accidentally hit
I
the
would be in
mute
the crawl
button.
space.
Sorry.
I told her it's fine, there's nothing down there. She asked me to stay on the phone with her until I got back, so I did. I walked the 5-minute walk back home and Jenny was still on the couch. She had the movie paused still, saying that she was listening for sounds. When I asked her if she heard any other sounds, she said no. She asked what if there's an animal down there. I told her that's not possible as there's no openings from anywhere outside. I opened the wine bottle and we continued to watch the movie. It wasn't long after that we both heard a distinct thud type of sound from below us, from the crawl space. I looked at Jenny and she looked at me. She was right, there was something down there. I said, oh shit, there might actually be an animal down there. Once again, we paused the movie and I went to the closet with the attic door inside. I grabbed the flashlight on the ledge. Down there, so a small animal could have been hiding anywhere. It smelled like piss in there, which pretty much confirmed that there was something down there. I'm not an exterminator or pest control, so there was nothing I could do about it. I told my parents about it in the family
How's
group
there
chat.
still
And
no
told my
sound?
dad
I
he'd have to call
unmuted it.
pest control tomorrow. Then, as I was climbing back up the stairs, I heard something from across the crawl space. I don't know what it was, but something moved. I got scared that some animal was going to run at me, so I hurried
gonna
up the
restart
stairs
the
and shut the
stream.
door. There wasn't much else
I
we
don't know
could
what's
do
going
now
on.
except just go back to the living room and finish watching the movie.